So you got a futuristic looking city that looks like the city from The Wizard of Oz, combine it with a Star Trek-like design. I'm in. Hey everybody, I'm Joe, and today I'm here to talk about Brad Bird's latest film, Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland's about a young girl named Casey who's very ambitious and has all these really big ideas, doesn't give up no matter what obstacles stand in her way, and one night when she's arrested by the police for trespassing on NASA property, she discovers a pin, and when she taps it, she's transported into another world. And certain things happen, and she meets George Clooney's character who knows about this place. It's him and her basically going on this adventure to discover Tomorrowland. And that's really all I can say about this plot, because I don't really want to spoil anything for any of you guys who are interested. Just know that this is a very original movie, and from the trailers, it definitely looked like something different. It's something that you hadn't really seen before. And it's directed by Brad Bird, who did Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol about 4 years ago, and The Incredibles. And he also did The Iron Giant back in 1999. So I was obviously interested in seeing this, and the trailer looked definitely interesting. It kept it vague, but it did explain a little bit of what it was about. So yeah, I was in. How could I not be? And George Clooney, I like George Clooney. And Hugh Laurie's in this movie too. Let's headbang! That's not the point. Now, as I said, this movie is a very original idea. I mean, it's essentially based around a theme park, or a section of a theme park that George Clooney's character was inspired by when he was a young boy in the 60s. And certain things happen to his character where he's not there anymore, and he feels a bit pessimistic and jaded, as you could say, compared to the main protagonist, Casey. I don't know the actress's name. She's more optimistic and is not willing to give up. That being said, though, I have to be honest. The movie, I thought, was a bit of a missed opportunity. Wasn't really that crazy about it. That being said, this is not a bad movie, and I don't really think Brad Bird is to blame. He still knows how to carry an audience through a movie, and it definitely shows with his direction, and the visuals, of course, look incredible. I admire Brad Bird's ability to give us some compelling action from a story that's very messy, I would say. The movie's a bit messy, and it's also thanks to Damon Lindelof. And you might know him for writing scripts for certain movies like Prometheus in 2012, and J.J. Abrams' first Star Trek movie, which I personally think is a really fun movie. But I have to admit, this movie felt very uneven and a little bit hard to follow at times, because it had like all these interesting ideas set in place, and it did seem to go to a certain point, but then it just stopped, and it kind of got really muddled down with some very preachy ideas that we've all seen before, but not to the point where it made my eyes roll. But I was a little underwhelmed by it, personally. The actors are all fine. The young actress who plays Casey, she is really good, and she has some really good comedic timing with her castmates. George Clooney, for once, is not playing kind of a similar character that he plays in his movies sometimes, where he's got those George Clooney-isms. Yeah, I'm George Clooney. Hey, George Clooney's a great actor, come on. I don't hate him. It's nice to see him play a little bit of a different character. Hugh Laurie, great as Dr. House, but not really that interesting, I would say. Didn't really care about him that much. Casey's father, played by Tim McGraw, good old country singer, he was also in The Blind Side a few years back with Sandra Bullock, doesn't have a whole lot to do here. If that was the purpose of his character, then fine, but I would have liked it if he had a little more to do. All in all, I think this is a fine movie. It's nothing great or anything, but I don't think it's bad either. It's just, it had potential, but it didn't really fully reach its potential. Brad Bird is still a great director, and I don't think he's to blame for this, but it's really Damon Lindelof's writing that I think really dragged the movie down. And even though he has a co-credit with Brad Bird writing the script, I would not be surprised if he had more control over the writing. Oh, and also, there's a lot of Star Wars promotion stuff in here. There's a scene where the character Casey goes to the store, and there's a lot of Star Wars memorabilia there. I guess maybe that Disney owns Star Wars now. I guess they're just kind of throwing that out there. And since Brad Bird has been suggested to be a director for a Star Wars movie, I would pay money to see that in a heartbeat. Come on, give him the job. Come on, come on. But what did you all think of Tomorrowland? Did you like it? You love it? You hate it? Whatever you thought, just comment below and tell me, and till next time.